Hey, I'm Ellecia, your non-monogamous relationship coach. Welcome to the podcast where my friends and I chat about our relationships, enthusiastic non-monogamy, polyamory, swinging, kink, and our lives. You'll get a candid peek into what makes it worth it to live life outside the box. And in case you're still wondering, nope, we're not monogamous. Hey, welcome back. Joining me today is my partner and the show editor, Danny, and we're going to get personal today and go deep into the world of non-monogamous first dates. So we're going to be sharing our own experiences, the good, the bad, the hilarious, and help you navigate the exciting and sometimes intimidating first dates, first encounters. We'll be throwing around some first date questions and some ideas that go beyond, like, what do you do for a living? Plus, we're going to share how to handle rejection with grace because, let's be honest, rejection happens. And of course, we can't forget about communication. We're going to share some tips on fostering open and honest conversations from the very beginning. So wherever you're at in your non-monogamous journey, this episode's packed with some valuable insights, some relatable stories. Buckle up because we're about to make those first non-monogamous dates easy breezy. And speaking of making things easier, if you love the show and you want to hear more awesome content like this, please be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss anything. I hate catering to the algorithm, but the algorithm exists. So help us out. Enjoy.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. Welcome to this episode.
Wow, thank you. It's a lovely podcast you have here.
Of Nope, We're Not Monogamous.
Oh my God.
A podcast about the mating habits of rabbits.
How interesting. Ironically enough, I actually know a lot about that.
Do you?
No. I made that up. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So rabbits.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. So I actually raised rabbits. And okay, do you know where Thumper and Bambi got his name?
No.
Because that's what they really do. Their back legs do the thumping thing.
What does that do?
So the boy like humps her, and then his leg sticks out straight and he falls over when he comes.
That's fucking amazing. But what does that help? Like, what is
I don't know. He's getting like tracks, like wearing tennis shoes when you're going at it.
Oh, right.
Getting traction.
Which we all do.
Definitely.
That was going to be my just the tip.
I'm hitting my plant. That's going to be your just the tip.
It was going to be, but now it can't be.
I'm sorry I took that from you.
That's okay.
That's going in my stand-up bit.
It absolutely should. Oh my God, should we do that? This would be like a little workshop. A workshop episode for you.
No, I want to know, Danny.
Me?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to know what you ask people on first dates.
Because you've never heard that before?
I've never been on a first date with you before.
Oh man. Okay. No, I think I do. I think that's a fantastic topic. Because people need help with that, right? Like, how many terrible questions have you been asked? Not terrible questions, but just like not interesting ones.
Not interesting ones,
yeah.
And also ones that like don't lead the conversation in the direction I'm hoping it'll go.
Oh, that's fantastic. What's do you have a direction in mind every time? I just flip the conversation on you.
The direction of the conversation changes depending on what I want out of the date.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And to that end, I know exactly what I ask people on first dates.
Do you?
I have a list.
Wait, how long has it been since you've been on a first date?
Holy cow. No, I went on one like a couple of months ago.
A couple?
I think. Was it?
It was like
6 months
maybe?
ago?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't either. But it's been a while. But yeah, I've... Okay, hold on. I can do this. You think I would have prepared? I actually knew what the question was going to be before we started this.
Okay, so here's what's funny is I've asked so many questions because pretty much everyone I've gone on a date with, I've like met online or like talked to in some way before the date.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's
it's not
the
like
future. It's today.
Yeah, it's not like I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. Now tell me about your favorite color.
Well, that's a must.
Your favorite color?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to know someone's favorite color before.
Yeah, but do you ask it on your first date?
No, actually. I'm trying to think what, like, on first dates, because I always talk to people before I ever date them.
Yeah. right?
Like that's just how things are now. It isn't like I've never been on a blind date.
Like you meet someone. This blows my mind actually. So okay, I'm doing a lot of dating coaching lately, and I'll have people who are like, okay, so what they're trying to do is like meet someone in the wild, just organically meet someone. Oh, I'm attracted to that person. Walk up to them and ask them to go on a date. And I'm like, that
sounds terrifying.
I would not do that. Like if you came up to me at the ice cream shop and asked if I would go on a date with you, no. I might give you my number if you were charming and cute, but like plan a date? No, that's not going to happen. And then second of all, like if I give you my number, we're going to text and chat a little bit. So I see if it's worth spending a whole evening or a day or whatever going and being in your company and spending my energy on that. Like if we don't have some things in common where we would like text or maybe talk on the phone, but like, my God, I hate that. I've had a couple of guys who are like, can I call you? And I'm like, I fucking no.
Oh my God. I've been dating you for almost 5 years, and I still text you if I'm going to call you about something. I'll text you first and say, hey, is it cool if I call you?
And I could probably count our phone conversations on both hands.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Like, I don't want that.
No.
Like, that's uncomfortable. Everyone around me can hear my end of the conversation, and then they ask questions about it. That's uncomfortable. I have to come up with answers right on the spot, and that's uncomfortable. I can't do other things. I have to focus. Maybe it's an ADHD issue.
Oh, it might be. I don't know. I don't have any issues like that.
Yeah, no, none at all. So... Lies.
Yeah. No, that's the worst. I would never talk to someone on the phone. I don't think I'd go on a date with someone if they walked up to me and said, hey, do you want to go out?
Right? Yeah,
but I would have given someone my number and I would happily text them beforehand. So I think first date questions are probably a thing of the past.
But I mean, you have to have conversations on a date.
But I feel like you probably established some conversations beforehand via text.
Oh, yeah. So you told me what you do for a living. You want to tell me more about that?
Yeah, exactly. Like, so you do this, or you know what they do for a living. So now you know not to bring it up.
Oh, yeah. You told me you hate your job. You want to tell me why?
Yeah. Oh, see, that's a good question. See, we're good at this.
I watched a TikTok the other day where this guy was talking about going on a date with a neurodivergent woman. And I don't know why that was the thing that he was talking about, was that she was neurodivergent, but he said it like changed his perception of dating, because she asked him, he's like, normally people ask you, like, what do you do? What are your hobbies? If we're getting spicy, what are your fantasies? Right.
Yeah.
But she looked him dead in the eyes and said, tell me everything you remember about your 18th birthday.
That's beautiful.
And he was like, I'm still thinking about that weeks later.
Those are great questions.
Right?
Oh my God. Or that's a great question. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my, you originally asked a question. I still have, like, I think we're hammering it out together. Because you asked me what I like to ask people on a first date.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that's really good. I know we talked about beforehand. I things I don't like necessarily. Like for me, I've never had a job I love, so I always hated the question like, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" Like, so I personally try to avoid it if I can, unless it was on like Front Street. Like I think whenever I think I saw your dating profile, and I think you said what you did for a living. I was like, "Wow, relationship coach. What's that?"
Tell me more.
Yeah, and you obviously liked it because you put it out there like,
here's
up front,
the thing
like this
do.
is the thing about me.
Yeah.
And you were like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "I work in a foundry."
And I was like, that's hot.
It is hot.
You metal maker.
Yeah. I think that's almost too general. I think it's too general. I think that I think the 18th birthday one is really fucking good.
Right? I don't think I ever would have thought of that.
No, I do love specific questions like that. Okay, so for like conversations, whether it's texting, I've done on first dates as well. I do like specific questions. I like asking what people like think about. Like,
just like, what are you thinking about right now? Or
no,
what do you
because
think
I think
about
that's terrible. I think you have to like
when you're driving.
Maybe, yeah.
What do you think about when you're masturbating?
Oh my, that might, I think, depending. That's context dependent.
Not a first date question.
No, maybe someone is cool about masturbation. They're really comfortable with it, and they're like, yeah, this is what I think about. But no, I think that instead of like asking them things like about themselves, like what do you do for a living, is like the one I always go to, because it's like in this world, what are you forced to do to pay your bills? Like everyone has to do something. What's the thing you got stuck with? And I don't think it has anything to do with the person.
But it does tell you what they spend their time doing.
Yeah. Okay. So in that regard, what I rather ask is, what is your dream job? That is a question I ask on first dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you deliver mail. I cannot imagine that you were a kid being like, man, someday I'm gonna deliver so much mail. I'm gonna work 6 days a week. It's gonna be great. Or like, I don't think anyone
There's
thought that.
some kid who's like, I really want to wear those blue shorts.
And I would
and
love
a
to
blue
meet that
striped
person.
shirt.
I would love to meet that adult in a date where they were like, yeah, I've always wanted to be a mailman.
And I made my dream happen.
And I'm a surgeon now, and I hate it. Because being a mailman isn't attainable. I've applied for that job and I've been turned down. Yeah, that happens. But I think asking someone what their dream job is much better because it's something that it's something about them. Like it's truly like in their heart. They're like, oh, well, this is my dream job. I want to be a relationship coach, or I always wanted to teach theater or something.
Hey, Danny.
Yeah.
What's your dream job?
Ooh, I want to be. I want to edit podcasts. My dream job. Okay, so like from most of my life, I thought writing comic books would be cool. I thought that would be right. That'd be so much fun. But it's such a. But it's not like a very stable market.
It's not a job you go and apply for. It's a thing you just have to do because you're passionate about it, and then eventually it maybe pays off.
And I've made some submissions that went nowhere, but I've definitely made some. I've taken action.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not here to talk about that.
Why not?
Because we're talking about this doesn't help anyone date.
Oh, are we helping people date?
I don't know. Are we?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we.
Okay, so you're non-monogamous.
I am that.
I mean, you, me, most of the people listening, and you're going on a date with someone. You have partners at home, or partners somewhere, and you're on your first date with someone who also has partners. Now, what kind of questions do you ask?
Oh, I love hearing stories of how people meet and stuff like that. If someone else is a partner, I always ask, "Oh, how'd you meet your husband? Or how'd you meet your wife? Or how'd you meet like whatever your partner is?"
Yeah,
I love that stuff. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And again, that's about them. I think that's more like circumstance and how they navigate it, or what they were looking for in a partner. Yeah. And I think it opens up the conversation to things like, "Oh, well, that's not me." I don't know. Like if they're like, I'm just really into guys who rock climb. I'm like, I've never even touched a rock, let alone climbed one. Or like we can get that.
I'm
out
more
there
into
now.
metal.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm more into sound.
Yeah, I love sound.
Okay, so that also, how'd you meet your partner? That also opens up to like, were you and your partner monogamous, or were you non-monogamous? Right? Then you get into the like, how did you become on this date while having a partner?
Yes.
Because like that's an important conversation to have.
It is.
Early.
Yes, first date, and let you know that like their dynamic, like what's going on at home.
Yeah.
With them. Yeah, exactly. Or I like asking people how they opened up, which I think you just touched on. Yeah. Yeah, that's like were you guys monogamous and you made a non-monogamous thing? Have you always been this way? And I'm not sure you should make too many judgments on that because like I guess I like to assume that if people started their relationship non-monogamous, that they're better at it. But that's not always true.
No.
That isn't. That's a presumption I was making.
Yeah.
So to everyone out there, there's hope for you if if you just started.
Yeah, I don't think that that's true because most people have very different ideas of what that, like Rob and I have never been monogamous together, but when we first started, it was very much like he was dating people, I was dating people, then we fell in love, and then we were like, well, I don't want to do things without you. Then we started swinging together and doing everything together because we were like in love and scared of like rocking that boat. Now our hearts were invested, and oh my God, what if you go and fall in love with someone else? And he was like, but I'm poly. And I was like, but I'm not. I just want to have sex with other people. Turns out I am poly. Yeah. So, and there were so many like we didn't have experience being non-monogamous in a committed relationship prior to that.
That's fair.
Right. So even though we started out and a lot of people went, oh, you guys have never been monogamous, that means you must be good at this. Like people made that assumption.
Yeah.
And we're like, I mean, maybe a little better than other people, like some other people, but like, we're fucking up left and right.
Oh, it's hard. Although it does make me wonder, because I think you could say that about just about any non-monogamous person. They'd be like, oh my God, it's so hard. Like I messed up this, I did this wrong. We're still doing this wrong. Kind of stuff. But I wonder if monogamous people talk like this about their relationships.
That's the problem. They don't. If they did, they would probably figure it out a lot better.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh man, I'm messing this up. They're like, oh no, we're doing it right because we're still together.
We've been together and miserable for 30 years.
Oh yeah.
You and I have never been monogamous together.
No, never.
That's pretty good.
I think we're pretty good at it.
Yeah, but we had a lot of experience before that.
We did.
Several years.
We absolutely
doing non-monogamy before even meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Getting those reps in.
Oh yeah, building those muscles.
Yeah, our non-monogamous muscles.
We were like
emotional muscles.
E&M bodybuilders.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that. That's our second podcast. E&M bodybuilding. Oh my God, what were we talking about?
The M is for muscle.
E&M, ethically non-musculous.
Emotionally natural muscles. I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, we don't juice. We're not using substances. Just maybe creatine.
We're steroiding up on emotions.
Yeah. Oh my God. What were we talking about?
I don't know.
We got way off track.
Questions for first dates.
Yeah, but we went past that too. Oh, talking about how people met and whatnot, and how they came to be on a date, aside from what you know. Yeah. And that is, you were saying that's important. It's so important to know what's going on with their whole, like, their polycule or their other partners or whatnot. Is that something you want to get tangled up in?
Right.
Are you going to have to meet all of them?
Or is there a bunch of drama?
Is there a dog outside?
Do you hear him when he barks and I'm recording and you're editing the podcast?
I'm trying to think. I must not come up too much. Does he bark a lot when you are recording?
Not often. Sometimes.
It looks like it's picking up on one of the mics. Oh, maybe not. I always love when people say I'm sorry for my dog, but the mic isn't picking it up. So they're like, oh, I'm sorry, my dog is just barking so much.
Yeah.
Silence.
And I'm like, I hear nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have dogs? Another great question.
Cats or dogs? Are you a cat person or a dog person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like them both. Yeah, that's a good question. You could probably open it up more even. I like open questions too.
Are you a bird person?
Are you a bird? Are you one of those?
Are you a fish person? Are you a snake person?
Because I'm not going to continue this if you are. Any of those things.
Do you have pet spiders?
I don't like animals. I live with some spiders though.
Yeah. They're my roommates in the basement.
Mm-hmm. What are other first questions, Ellecia?
First date questions. We've done this.
Yeah.
Okay, so my dates tend to move in a sexual direction.
Ooh, I like that.
So a lot of my first date questions are things of sexual nature. Like, okay, I'll tell you the question I hate. What are you into? The fuck am I not into? Like, that's such a broad question.
That is pretty.
There's a long list. I can't just name it all. Plus, I don't want to give it all away on the first date.
Yeah. Oh my God, a good answer to that question is mystery.
Mystery.
Mystique.
But also on the other, like on the other hand is, but also I want to tell you the things that like are green flags for me and red flags for me. Like do not demean me. I'm not into that. Yeah, I am into continuous consent. Yeah. I'm super into compliments. Like, compliment me left and right. And I'm real happy. I'm into butt rubs. But that doesn't mean that, like, that's all I'm into. So maybe it would be better, like, what are you into for today?
Truly.
For this date.
Well, yeah. That is a great question. It almost feels like you're just asking for a manual. It's like, so what do you like to have happen on a first date?
The other question,
so that I can do that.
The other question I hate?
Yeah.
What are your fantasies? I think talking about fantasies is super important.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And typically I'm going on dates with men, mm-hmm. and they tend to ask what my fantasies are, thinking that they'll be the one to fulfill them.
Oh, yeah.
No. And I'm like, or they'll say like, what have you always wanted to do that you haven't done? And I'm like, nothing. I've made all my dreams come true in a lot of ways. But like my fantasies are most of my fantasies are things that I want to keep in my head or like not have happen in real life.
Oh my God. Yeah. And
so I don't want to tell someone on a first date what my fantasies are, having them think like, yeah, that's what we're going to, that's where this is going. Like, that's for me more of a, like, you're someone I trust and have security with. And now I'll share my fantasies with you.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Absolutely. Who wants to fulfill their fantasies on a first date?
A lot of people.
That's crazy.
Well, a lot of people's fantasies are like having a threesome.
But even then, a first date?
I've had lots of threesomes on first dates.
On first dates?
Well, I mean, usually it's with someone that it's not the first date, but the third person is a first date.
Oh, that's fine.
See?
Yeah, but you're all together. I guess I assume this is like a one-on-one thing, and you're seeking like a romantic relationship or something. I don't know if I'd open to the threesome. But no judgment to you. I'm sorry. Yeah, absolutely. If you go to a first date, have a threesome, you totally can.
And also, what about like that third person if they're on a first date with a couple and having a threesome? What?
Oh my God! Then there's all kinds of things. I guess I've never been on a first date
with the intention of a threesome.
With the intention of a threesome? No, never. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. It just seems so foreign to me. Interesting. We're so different.
So different.
No, I'm open to that though. I suppose that probably opens the door to a lot more questions. I guess the intention of the date would definitely influence the questions that you were asking.
Yeah. Am I looking for a romantic relationship? Am I looking for a sexual relationship? Mm-hmm. Is this a one night stand type of date?
Sure.
Is this?
Do you ask that question? Are we just banging? Are we just having sex tonight?
That's not a question I would ask. That's more of a thing I would state.
Oh, we're having sex.
No, no, but more kidding. Like, I think I told you. Okay, 5 years later, we're having this conversation.
Finally,
shush. I think we both were really clear. Like, I'm not looking for a relationship. I've got a couple of those.
Oh yeah.
But like someone to like, I wouldn't mind like some good flirtation, some sexy times. We can hang out once or twice. This will be great. Always looking for friends. And then
we made them.
And we did that. And then we did that again.
Yeah.
And then we did that again. And then we did that again.
We're so casual.
And like I was just looking for something real casual. And we are still very casually committed.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we talked about that in our last episode, actually.
Probably.
That's how we just kind of kept it at the same level.
For a long time.
Yeah. Some tantric dating.
Yeah.
You're cute.
You're cute.
Yeah. So asking questions of a sexual nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is important stuff to get out, assuming that is the direction of the day.
Yeah.
I always worry about just giving advice of like, oh, these are the sexual questions you should ask. And people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to run with that. And then like, it didn't work. I don't understand why. It's like, well, did you guys have was there any hint that you guys were going to be heading that direction right away? There's a lot of context. You gotta suss that stuff out yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
What your fantasies are is definitely a bad question.
Is it?
I think so. What do you fantasize? Because I agree. Most of the guys I know that would ask that question would be like, yeah, because I want to do it.
Yeah.
It's like how about you get on the ground floor, get to know someone's body before you think you're going to start blowing their mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure to put on yourself and your partner.
Yeah. What kind of touch do you like is better?
Oh, that's really good.
Mm-hmm. You remember our first date and I put my hand on your knee?
Mm-hmm.
No, our knees were touching.
Sorry,
our knees were touching. And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. No,
our knees were touching under the table and you called it out. You were like, our knees are touching. And I was like,
I do remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like that kind of touch. Just the knees touching.
Yeah.
Really bouncy. Oh man, I had something. Now it's gone. I'll have to edit this out now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're really good at editing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll cut this out too.
Yeah.
So everyone thinks I'm humble.
Yeah. That's exactly what you should do.
What kind of touch do you like is such a good question. What are other like just really like just I think closing in too much is bad.
What do you mean?
And asking only yes or no questions.
Oh yeah.
Is tedious and it doesn't really engage the mind that much.
Yeah.
But at the same time asking just like, what do you like? That might as well be the same. It's like, oh my God.
What's your favorite food?
Your favorite food? I don't like that question either. I make stuff up.
I don't like favorites.
Yeah.
I'm polyamorous.
Tell me.
I don't like favorites.
What's something you like? What's something you're into recently? Like you were saying about like, what are you into tonight? Like, yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. What music were you listening to today?
Oh my God. What did you, actually another question I love is what did you listen to on the way to this date?
Ooh.
That's a good, thank you for reminding me. I'm rusty on dating.
Yeah. That's really good. That's really good.
Yeah.
What did you listen to on the way here? Mostly the sound of my breath as I was hyperventilating.
I'm scared of driving too.
No.
Oh man, those are good. Now I just want to ask you a bunch of like first date questions.
Do it.
Yeah. But now I can't think of any. What did you listen to on the way to this podcast? What were you listening to when you were getting ready?
Oh, I was listening to the playlist that just naturally plays when my alarm goes off on
Oh, I love that.
Spotify.
I think gonna say like when I wake up, there's
It's
a
called
playlist.
Brekkie Time.
I know that playlist well. That playlist.
I
It's
play it a
very
lot
good.
because I'm real lazy, and so I just say, "Hey Google, play music."
And it's like this one, Ellecia.
It didn't.
Oh my god! I thought that's funny. Here it goes.
It's not picking it up.
No, it's not. It's so quiet.
Hey Google, stop.
That was fun. Are we gonna get sued now for saying Google on a podcast? I'm pretty sure you can't
No.
say name brands.
That's not true.
No, are you
We
sure?
aren't making money.
That's fair.
You can't. If you make money off of them, then you have to attribute.
That's not a plug right there.
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
They don't care. They want to be plugged. If I was making money off of
Then
them,
they would like, we want to cut.
Yeah.
Bill Gates is he even still the head of Google.
I
That's
don't
another
know.
great first date question. It's like, Bill Gates, is he still?
So, what do you think of Jeff Bezos?
That's a fun one.
So
I think he's a national hero. I'm kidding.
I was like, that's not the answer I was expecting.
See, that's why it's a good question.
Wow.
Yeah, you're sussing things out.
Yeah. One that I really like to ask is, okay, this is a question, and whether it's a first date or not, like texting, whatever, I always ask people their thoughts on the movie Waterworld.
Oh my God, you do.
I do. I ask everyone that.
That is such a good one.
It really, it just really, because there's polarized answers about that movie. I don't know why. That's dumb. But people are real passionate. If they don't like Waterworld, they will go off about it.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, we are not a match.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
This is not someone I don't want to touch this person's genitals
It's like
because they're real passionate about disliking
Kevin
a movie
Costner
from
with
the
gills?
90s. Yeah.
That's
which
awesome.
is a fantastic fucking movie.
That is
And then they're
sorry
like,
for the spoilers.
then they're like, oh yeah. Then they're like, oh, it's exactly the same movie as The Postman and what's the other one?
That's also Kevin Costner. It's the same actor, is what they mean.
It's also the same concept. It's like a post-apocalyptic.
Okay, so I would say Waterworld is close. It's like Mad Max on water, maybe.
Yeah.
Which amazing.
Waterworld was
Yeah.
brilliant. It was just ahead of its time.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all.
Yes.
It was amazing. And
Didn't that guy have a pull start penis? That's amazing. Wasn't that a thing?
I don't know.
Maybe I'm thinking
what are you
about. Maybe
talking
I might be
about?
watching a different version of that movie. I don't think I
That's
am.
the porn parody.
Guys, in the comments, did Waterworld have a pull start penis?
Did it? Wait, where? When?
What
are you
was
talking
it
about? What
Dennis
guy?
Hopper?
Dennis Hopper.
I could have swore someone had a penis but he had a.
I don't know.
They didn't show it.
I should know that. Maybe I just was like oblivious to what was happening there.
We should watch Waterworld.
Oh my God, yes.
Absolutely.
I love that movie.
I might cut this out. One of my best friends growing up ever for a very long time. He just had he would get up in the morning before school at like 6, and he would watch half of Waterworld before the bus got there. And he'd go to school, and then the second day he'd watch the second half, and then he'd rewind the movie, and that was just his morning routine for like a year.
I love that.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
I love that.
He started every morning with Waterworld. It was fantastic. I loved it. This is why we're together, because Waterworld is a great movie.
Yeah, post-apocalyptic is my absolutely favorite genre of movies. Like post-apocalyptic and disaster movies. I love them. And so, like, if I'm going on a date with someone or like meeting them and they're like, no, I hate that, and I'm like, there's something about the way my brain works and the brains of people who hate that just doesn't jive. I have yet to meet someone that hates Waterworld that I want to fuck.
You get it.
So that's a question I
understand yourself.
ask.
That's a great question to ask.
Yeah. Or like whatever your thing is.
Oh yeah, I don't think it'll work for everyone, because if you're one of those people that hates Waterworld, you can't be looking for someone who likes it. Like, oh,
but you could ask, what are your thoughts on the movie Waterworld? And if they're like, I love it, and you can be like, oh, nah, this isn't gonna work.
Or I love it that like I only date people who are lukewarm on Waterworld. You can't have any strong feelings about it. I need someone who's just like, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, it's a movie.
If it's on, I don't change it.
Yeah.
One I like to ask is if you had the option to replace your either your left or right arm, you can choose, replace it with a cool robotic one, would you?
I could choose.
Yeah, you choose left or right. But
how well does it work?
It's awesome. It is a great robot arm.
Oh yeah, I would.
The question really is, how attached are you to having this body? Like, are you?
Oh.
Yeah, like, are you into it, or would you upgrade it if you could?
I would upgrade your arm.
My arm?
Yeah.
I never asked that before. Let's find out, like on a first date, like, hey, would you replace my body parts? Yeah, I don't think that one works. I think you should ask about them.
Oh, that's fair. But my answer is that I would replace your arm.
Which one?
Your left one.
My left arm?
Yeah.
What would it like? Why?
But below the tattaoo. Why?
Oh yeah, keep the
because
tattoo.
I imagine if it's as cool of a robotic arm as you're making it out to be, that it maybe is like shape changing or like you can change what you do with it. And then my thought is, you might have a robotic penis on your arm.
Oh yeah, for
and
sure.
then there's a lot of cool things we could do with that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's smart. Maybe it's a first date.
Oh,
what if try that?
What if you could turn your left arm? Like one of the things the robot arm could do is like be a Hoover, like a vacuum. That would make cleaning so much easier.
And then you're storing dust inside your arm somewhere.
Oh, you know, dump it out in the garbage or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, just shake it out.
Oh, it gets all dirty and stuff. It smell like a vacuum cleaner.
No, it's a really cool robot arm.
Oh,
it's
yeah, that's right.
Self-cleaning.
Self-cleaning.
Self-cleaning like a
really
vagina.
Good. Cool. Of a vagina robot arm. Absolutely.
Oh my God. Imagine jacking off with that.
If it was cool, I probably wouldn't have to do that angle. I think I would have
like this.
Yeah, it would just like my fist.
You would have like a Fleshlight robot arm.
Yeah, we're plugging Fleshlight today. I think it's so cool that Fleshlight became like Kleenex. It's not face tissue.
Oh.
Or like Band-Aid. It's not like medical adhesive or like whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's an adhesive bandage, and we aren't like like a male masturbatory aid. Like we're like Fleshlight, name brand.
Very clear.
They're the ones who did it.
Yeah.
It looks like a flashlight. Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks like flesh also.
Yeah.
Or feels like flesh. Where?
I
don't know. Me either.
I've used a not flashlight one.
Oh yeah.
And that didn't feel like flesh, but it felt fine.
That didn't feel like flesh.
It didn't feel like flesh. It felt like silicone.
First date questions.
First date questions. Do you prefer Fleshlight or do you go off-brand?
Pure romance.
Pure romance. That sounds like a brand.
It is.
Is it
It's
really?
one of the home sales, like where they come into your house and you have a party.
Oh my God, yeah. Where you have like that aunt who like uncomfortably asks like your friends or something. Yeah. I've had that happen.
Talks to them about their sex life.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, do you want to come to this party? We're all trying out dildos. Or not trying them out.
A couple of years ago,
I'm not sure
a friend of mine had a Pure Romance party. I think it was Pure Romance. It was one of those brands, whatever. She had a party and the lady, I didn't know, I knew like two of the people there.
Yeah.
There's a lady sitting behind me, and not the host, but the person selling was like showing all the doodads that she had. And she had a lot of like lubes and creams. And one of them was like a blowjob cream. Oh, it was to numb your throat so that you didn't have a gag reflex.
Sure.
And so people started talking about blowjobs. And the lady behind me was like, my husband gets a blowjob on his birthday if he's lucky.
Oh my God.
And like she said it with so much contempt and disgust. And I just thought, I feel so sad for you. Like I wasn't even like, yeah, fuck that guy. I was just like, I feel so sad for you that you like hate your sex life and your marriage and like you're just spending your life with someone that you have that much contempt for and like have no interest in like sexual pleasure. Like what is happening? It kind of blew my mind and I was really sad. And that's my Pure Romance story.
That's the worst pure romance. What's the opposite of a plug? Because that
A bash?
A bash.
But that wasn't the
No, that was just that one lady. That
was just that lady. Story. Like I felt really sad for her that like
do you think they're still together?
I have a feeling they are.
Oh my gosh.
I think they were just like, this is what you do. You get married, you have kids, you push through miserable sex and you argue with each other and then you die. And then you did it. You succeeded. You get the trophy at the end. You had a successful marriage and life. And I'm like, I don't want that. And that is why I am not monogamous.
You're not?
No.
That's a question I like to ask at first dates.
Are you monogamous? Does your partner know that you're on this date?
That's a great question. I like to think, that comes out early on in the texting. It's like, how communicative are you?
Unless
do you like blowjobs?
And then do you like blowjobs? Unless you are like have such a like you're like solo poly or a relationship anarchist and like no, my partner doesn't know specifically that I'm on this date right now, but they know that I'm dating or they know that I had an interest in people or they knew I was going on a date this week, right? Like like something.
Yeah, it kind of again
it's
it
not
lets
a
you know
secret.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be fine with that. If someone's like, they don't know I'm on this specifically. Yeah, just that I do date. That's
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. I like to ask people about. I know you're not supposed to talk about like religion and stuff, but I fucking love bringing it
Why
up.
wouldn't you talk about religion?
I don't know. I think it's something from like our parents or grandparents.
That's not a date. That's not a no like a date thing though. That's like a cocktail party, dinner party thing. Like don't bring it up in mixed company. I think.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, fair enough.
If you're going on a date with
You wanna
someone,
know.
if you want to be intimate with them, or you want to like you're starting a romance, fuck yeah, religion and politics should come very quickly.
Yeah,
Those are big things.
Because it totally sucks whenever you like bang someone and then you find out that they're a total weirdo.
Yeah.
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 'Cause
I
you're like,
don't
"Oh,
want to
you ruined
find
it."
out that I just had sex with someone who thinks that women who have sex before they're married are terrible people or something.
Yeah, they're like, I just had sex with a terrible person. You're like, well, so did I.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like. So for me, I just like to know that they're thinking about it. Like it's I don't know. It's like important to me that someone has to have an idea of the afterlife. And I'm not saying that the afterlife has to exist. Even if they're like, I think the lights go out and nothing happens. I'm like, I'm so glad you thought about that. But I ask someone, it's like, what do you think about what happens when you die? And they're like, I don't know. I never really thought about it. I'm like, what?
You've been on a date where they said that.
Yes, I absolutely
I
have.
remember you telling me
I absolutely have.
this.
I'm like, what do you mean you haven't thought about it? Let's do this now. Let's hash it out. What do you think?
And they're like, want to watch a movie?
Oh my God, you sound just like them. Yeah, it's no fun. I like to know that kind of stuff.
And then here I am. I'm like, I think that we become stingrays
Oh hell yeah, just like
floating
Moana.
through space.
Oh,
Like space whales.
I love that.
Yeah. That's not my actual
Is
answer.
that Mormonism?
But like, it could be. I don't know.
God, I'm sorry. Any Mormon people out
Mormonism?
there.
Is
Yeah,
that how you say that?
I think so. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to offend anyone that actually like religion.
Yeah, I mean, I have
I
a
just
lot
don't- I don't
of.
actually
There are
know
a
much
lot
about
of
Mormonism.
Mormons who do listen to my podcast.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Like that totally makes sense.
Like actually,
yes.
Yeah.
No, yeah. 100% that makes sense. And I was just tossing out a
most
random
of them are
religion there.
former Mormons, though.
That's also fair.
Yeah.
I just don't know a lot about that one, and I picked one. I feel bad, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, don't
You
feel
can
bad. It's okay.
you can at
I'm
me.
pretty sure that that's what the Buddhists believe.
That you become whales in space.
Exactly.
That's nirvana. When you exit the cycle, you become a whale in space.
Yes.
There'd be a lot of space whales.
Yeah.
It's a big place though, so I imagine we wouldn't bump into each
Space
other.
is big.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Space is big.
Way bigger than a whale.
Now I'm just thinking about Lost in Space. I gotta watch the last 2 episodes.
That could be our just the tip.
Watch
We
Lost
keep it
in
for the
Space.
for the Patreon. It's like, look, today we're not going to talk about sex tips. Today we're going to talk about Alicia's take on Lost in Space.
And those robots are shapeshifting
Spoilers.
and empathetic.
Spoilers.
They have empathy. They can like feel like not like they have empathy for you, but like they're empaths. Like they connect via emotion.
That's rad.
It's kind of cool.
So, do you think that makes those robots super cool because they can sense emotion, or does it make humans seem more like robots in that anything about us can be understood by a computer?
Oh shit! Wow,
That's another great first date
that's
question.
a good first date question. Could it be both? Because that doesn't stop the robots from killing each other.
Sure.
It also doesn't stop humans from killing each other.
It's true.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you would think the fact that we can experience empathy would mean we wouldn't kill people.
Wow.
Yeah. Or
What-
do other terrible things.
Yeah. Wow.
We should. Okay. Let's scrap this episode. Let's not do this.
No.
And instead we'll have a first date.
With each other.
Yeah, with each other. Yeah, we'll just sit here and we'll go through a first date and what that's like for any of our viewers who have never done it.
Can you do that? Can you have a second first date?
Like,
can you actually, like, it's not like you can forget what has come before, but can you have a second first date?
So, okay, let's say you and I split up, right?
Okay.
And then like 2 years from now, we're like, hey, do you want to get back together? Would that be our first date?
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a first date can happen
Yeah.
again.
It's like going on first date with a friend. You already know them, but you're
Yeah.
going on a first date.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. You can also go on first dates after having sex with people.
I have done that.
Me too.
I have absolutely done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually it's
Like
nice.
we've never actually been on a date, but we've totally boned.
Yeah, and I love that like the tension's broken then.
Yeah.
Not that. Well, I mean, no, there's like some tension. So I was on a first
Good
date. Like,
tension.
what does that person look like naked? I don't know about anyone else. I tend to do that.
Is that a thing you think about on a first date? What do they look like naked? I do.
Hold on here. Well, I feel like that could be a dangerous question. Right now, people are just like waiting. Like, what's he gonna say?
Nobody's judging you. It's
No.
fine. This is a safe space.
Is it?
This
All
is a
these
safe
people I don't know
podcast.
talking to me. Do I think about what they look like naked? I don't. It's not like I sit there and like fantasize like, oh man, I bet you look like. I will absolutely, if it looks like, if it's going well and it looks like, hey, we might be going back to my place or their place or whatever.
The car.
Yeah, well, you know, anywhere that works. Yeah, I will absolutely be like, oh my god, this is exciting. I think this is happening. I'm like, I wonder what that looks like.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to find out.
I definitely do that.
Yeah,
I'm
it's like shaking
I
a
wanna
present
know
at
what's
Christmas.
under there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
someday you'll find out.
If I play my cards right.
Mm-hmm. I like to take it slow.
Okay, what's another first date question that people what's a first date question people should ask?
Should ask as opposed to fun to ask. Oh.
I like both.
Yeah, they're both great.
Should ask. Did you bring condoms?
Did you bring condoms? Because I sure didn't. Yeah. Are you as irresponsible as I am? Yeah. What should people be asking?
What's your social security number and date of birth?
I gotta know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there any hard question that you absolutely, every single person should ask that? Like, I think there's like a list of things that you should avoid, and I think there's an attitude you should bring to your questions.
Yeah.
Like a genuine curiosity as opposed to like, let's get through this.
Yeah, that's really good. I think that your questions should, one, lead in a direction that you are interested in, should show interest in your date.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I guess questions show interest in your date, not just talking about yourself. If you're asking questions, you're already doing that.
I think that you can ask questions because you're supposed to, or ask questions to make someone feel like you are interested. I think you should ask questions you are actually interested in.
Yeah, rather than the ones you think you should ask, and then you tune out the answer and don't really care.
Yeah.
Or
it's alarming how many people do that.
Or ask a question. Okay, this is super common, and I've done it. I do it for sure. I think a lot of people do, but I will ask a question that I want to be asked of me. I want to tell you this thing about me.
Yeah.
But I don't want to just talk about myself or just spit it out. So I'll ask you the question in hopes that you will ask in return.
You know, I think we still do that to each other sometimes.
All the time, yeah.
And I'm so bad at asking. Sometimes I'll just let the question happen. Where someone will ask me, it's like, what do you think of this? I'm like, this is my thought on the question you just asked. I'm really bad at coming up with them on the spot. And I'm like, cool. Anyway, moving on. Do you think it's okay then let's give people permission or not permission here? Is it okay to ask a question that you wanted to be asked?
Yeah.
And then when they don't ask it back, volunteer your answer.
Absolutely.
I'm going to pose a question to us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's fine too.
Yeah. Well, especially like you and I both have ADHD. So we tend to bounce around a lot.
Oh my God.
And so to like if I ask you a question and you start going off on a tangent of the answer and you go off and then it turns into something else, like I think it's totally fine for me to come back and be like, oh, that question I asked you, here's my thought on it.
Yeah.
Because we just went off on 3 other subjects.
Yeah, and I wanted to get this out.
And I wanted to share this with you.
Oh, so oh my God, that's equally as good a question then is what are things you want people to know about you on a first date? I think it's something to come out there with too.
Oh, that's so good.
Be ready to talk about you.
Yeah. Yeah. What are 5 things you want me to know?
Oh man, that's good. We should have thought about this beforehand. Or we could workshop it for an hour right now.
Yeah, this is great.
On camera.
This is how it should be. Who scripts things?
Right?
Yeah. What are 5 things
that I want people to know about me?
About you? What?
Or
yeah,
what you said.
What you said.
The thing that you said. Or I said. Oh. Things to know about me. I
am right-handed.
I'm right-handed.
I have a beard.
I'm so glad you asked about that.
No, I'm answering for myself.
Oh God. Your beard's beautiful.
Thank you.
I wish you'd let it grow out sometime.
I know. But then I'd have to braid it, maintenance.
I don't know what I want people to know about me.
You would be like, I don't want anyone to know anything.
I'm a secret.
I'm a secret.
Until you ask
I'm
questions.
a secret.
Me as a person and
I
the
am
whole secret.
I am a mystery.
That's the first thing. And then after that, I don't know. Man, I should date more.
Yeah, I have a list
Of things you want people to know?
of questions I was like thinking, I don't know.
Yeah, we can cut this out. As Ellecia just scrolls on her phone.
I'm so bored. This is what I do on first dates.
I've seen. I have been on that date too. I just went there and just nothing happened. And they were like, "Hey, look at these memes."
Oh,
I'm like, "Is this? If you didn't want to go on a
foreplay?
date?" Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was like just how they are, or if they're like, "I just don't like you."
How do your current partners feel about you dating other people?
Oh my god. You want me to answer that? That's just a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a good question. You can answer it if you want to.
I don't.
Oh, you don't have to. That's fine. I already know, and you aren't dating the people listening.
Exactly. And I'm sure
they can ask you out on a date if they want to know the answer to that question.
Oh my god, you're totally right. That's a Patreon thing. $10 if you want to
have a date with Danny.
Have a date with Danny. Find out.
Date with Danny, the producer.
What his partners think of him dating.
Yeah.
It's pretty mundane. I think they're like, oh yeah.
Oh my god, should that be a Patreon thing? Date with Ellecia.
Absolutely.
Zoom date, not like a real date. Because that would make me an escort.
Would it?
I think so. If you pay for a date.
Is that bad to be an escort?
Not like if you pay for the date, but if you pay your date to be your date.
Being an escort's fine.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. I just am not one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ooh, I like this one.
Okay.
What kind of communication do you like? Like, how do you like to communicate? Like,
that is
like
a good
with
one.
people you're relating with, right?
Man,
like,
I should ask that question more.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
Are you someone who hates texting? Or do you prefer all of your correspondence to be handwritten mail? Or do you prefer phone calls or video chats? I mean, my God, our first video chat was during the pandemic, and you were like, "Oh my God, I
was
really,
not ready.
I don't know." And I was like, "Well, I'd like to
see.
see you again someday, and it might never happen. The world might be ending, so."
Well, there you go. The way that I communicate is I like to be guilted. I like people to make me feel bad until I do something.
Yeah, I learned it.
No, no, I didn't feel bad. I wanted to see you, obviously. Yeah.
I was like, you can say no, it's fine.
I communicate through passive aggressive sighs. Jinx. That's a really good one.
It is a good one.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't know you wrote any down. I would have written some down.
I didn't. I ChatGPT'd them.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you, ChatGPT.
I said, "Hey, ChatGPT, what are questions non-monogamous people should ask on first dates?" And there are a lot of them are just things that I've covered a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But not that one. That was a good one.
That's a good one. You can rehash things. You're wise.
Oh yeah, like what are you looking for? Something casual, serious, somewhere in between?
Yeah, and I think that it's important to note that this isn't necessarily a first date thing. That stuff I would like usually gets covered when you're texting before the date.
Yeah. Or just on the second date, or when you're just hanging out at a barbecue with everyone.
So what are you looking for?
Yeah, like
just asking the guy at the grill.
Yeah, at the grocery store, you're checking out, and you're like, "Hey, how do you handle tough times with your partners?"
Come on, just let us know. Let's talk about it. Why can't we talk about that kind of stuff at the grocery store?
We can.
Okay. Why doesn't anyone want to?
If people asked me that and I was working at the grocery store, I would be like, "Next."
They just don't have time.
There's a line forming behind you. Like, thanks for asking, but no.
I'm not. Here's my number. Is that how that works? Is that
Have you ever given someone a fake number?
No, I don't get asked that very often.
Oh, I have.
I bet you have.
I was like, okay, here's what's weird. Okay, I was like, I think I was 22 or so, 21, 22. I was selling cars.
That's a good first question, by the way. First date question.
Have you ever given someone a fake number?
Sorry, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was selling cars, and this guy was shopping for a car. He had like 3 kids with him and was flirting with me, and I'm like, He was much older than me with his 3 kids. I was like 21.
Oh, yeah. What?
And he came in and he asked me for my number. And here I am like trying to sell cars, trying not to be a dick. So I just gave him a number. I was like, this is awkward. everyone, all the people I worked with, all of the dudes that I worked with are watching and like snickering. So I just gave him a fake number. The next day, he came back in.
Oh gosh.
And said, "Did you give me a fake number or did you write it down wrong?"
Oh, well.
And I was like, "Oh fuck. No, I gave you a fake number, man."
Way to come clean.
Yeah.
As you write down another fake number.
And like 15 years later, 10 years later, something like that, I'm having dinner with a friend of mine and her husband and their 3 kids. And it hit me. Like it just, like all of a sudden I knew how I knew her husband.
Oh my gosh.
They weren't married at the time.
Yeah, for sure.
They had combined family. But I was like, oh my God, you were the guy that I gave a fake number to.
You said that to him?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And he was like, was it you? Seriously? Like I remembered, like he didn't remember me, but he remembered that.
Oh yeah.
Incident.
The experience of someone being like, yeah, of course, here. And then.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, and he was like, that was fucked up. And I'm like, was it? Like you asked me for my number at work.
That was fucked up.
And it's really scary to like, I don't know you. I don't want you calling me and texting me and like, and I don't want to reject you because that could be scary. I don't know what'll come of that. You might smash my windows in or something. I don't know you. Yeah. Man. Yeah. So I've given a fake number. That probably wasn't the only time, but that's the only memorable time.
There's, I'm not sure if they're still around. I remember when I was younger, there was numbers that you could give out and it would just be like an automated message saying so-and-so has given you a fake number. It might be because you smell bad or because you're rude or ugly. Like,
I think that still exists.
That's awesome.
I don't know the number.
I don't know the number either.
We should look it up and put it in the show notes.
We should. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. For all those people out there.
Wait.
It's like the opposite of first date questions is how do you avoid a first date? What do you like to do to avoid a first date?
To give to someone. Number to give someone to reject them. 605-475-6968.
Beautiful.
It says the original standard rejection hotline. A man's sarcastic and humorous monologue rejects the caller and tells them to forget the person who gave them the number.
That's beautiful.
So that's my community service today. I've done that for you. Oh, there's other ones.
I bet.
Oh, love Hall & Oates?
Oh, I love that one.
This number goes straight to an answering service that lets the caller pick a Hall & Oates song to play.
I forgot they had some clever name.
719-266-2837.
That's legit saved in my phone.
Oh, a simple recorded message that tells callers to leave a brief message. This is connected to the Loser Line, a radio station in Seattle that records and airs these messages.
That's beautiful.
That's so mean.
It is mean. I stand by my statement. I think it's beautiful. I think it is cruel, but lovely.
Oh, okay. Here we go. The Mary Sue Rejection Hotline, reserved specifically for men that make women feel unsafe. Whether they call or text, the hotline gives back a rejection about how the person should learn to take no for an answer and respect women's emotional and physical autonomy. The TMS rejection function even waits an hour to text the person back to decrease the chances of confrontation.
Sure.
646-926-6614. This is a number women should have.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's really fun. I'm glad I Googled that. Now, the clear, honest, straightforward communication that we should all feel safe enough and comfortable enough. Like, I wish as a society, we could just say, no, thank you. And that would be fine.
Absolutely.
Right? We could just say, I'm not comfortable giving that to you.
Absolutely.
But another thing you can do is ask them for their number instead.
Yes. Yes. Oh, the mics don't pick it up at all. That's interesting.
Yeah. You could also tell them you're just not interested in any type of a relationship, which might be a lie. So.
But not any way that they can measure.
I am a big fan of no thank you. Genuinely.
Oh, no thank you. I've seen you.
Yeah. No thank you.
No thank you.
I've had someone, I was at a sexy party and this dude was sitting next to me talking to me. Yet he wants to bark. There was this guy sitting next to me talking to me and he's like, hey, can I kiss you? And I was like, no, thanks.
That's awesome.
He still wound up messaging me a lot and I had to be real clear. Like, no, I'm not interested. Thank you.
So I'm not interested right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, the guys who play the waiting game.
The waiting game?
Yeah, where it's like, yeah, I asked her and she said no, but if I stick around long enough, eventually she'll be like, you know what, he's not dangerous. I'll give in to him. Or yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't do that, guys.
Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Don't do that. Just don't. There's how many people are on Earth?
A lot.
Like a billion or something?
At least a billion.
Yeah, like they're just go meet other people. I was thinking about this the other day when a lot of times people will say to me, well, there's no other non-monogamous people in my area or my community, or there's no kinky people or whatever they're looking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so you're the one exception? You're the only exception to that like cultural norm where you live? Right? I doubt that. Or like, well, there's very few.
Sure.
Okay, maybe, look a little whiter, but also you haven't talked to everybody. Like I promise, you have not met everybody that might be a good match for you. You haven't.
So is that just a complaint you hear? Like people
all
are just like, I'm just no one lives here.
Yeah. Like dating's so hard for me because like I live in a really conservative area and there's no other non-monogamous people here. And I'm just like, but there are.
Oh, there for sure.
There maybe it's harder to find them.
Yeah.
There because there's less of them than maybe in San Francisco or Seattle.
Yeah.
But like
if you're living in a small area, you may need to travel.
Yeah, you may need to travel. You may take you longer to meet people.
Yep.
But like you're the only one cannot be true.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cannot be true.
There's no way you can know that. Have you talked to every single person?
Exactly.
Have you seen what's going on in their bedroom? Every single person? That's crazy.
Yeah. Also, non-monogamy being not our cultural standard means that a lot of people are not advertising that they're non-monogamous. They aren't out there going, hey, looking for a kinky, bi, switch, polyamorous person.
Yeah.
Know any?
Yeah, in the right area, that could ruin your life.
Mm-hmm.
In some places.
Mm-hmm.
Not your life, but like your comfort.
Yeah. First date questions.
Yeah.
Danny.
Ellecia.
This was so much fun. Will you come visit us on Nope, We're Not Monogamous again?
I would love to.
Yeah?
Yeah. At the very least, I'll edit it.
Come hang out with us again.
Yeah.
The last time you were on the show was a year ago.
I know. That was crazy.
A year ago yesterday.
Yeah, that's wild. For the 50th episode.
Yeah. And
we did our favorite moments, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
We should do our least favorite moment. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not doing that.
No.
Not doing that one. Nope.
Because they're all great.
They're all perfect
Every
episodes.
moment is always great.
Yeah.
Man, do we want to do it just the tip?
So if you didn't hear that just the tip, you can check it out at patreon.com/notmonogamous. You will probably want to be one of our lovers or friends with benefits. Those are the ones that get it, right? Yeah. Friends with benefits and lovers that get just the tip because we just gave a lot of really good anal advice.
Oh, yeah.
So go check it out.
And not like OCD, like we mean like actual butt stuff.
Butt stuff. Yeah,
butts.
We just spent like 5 minutes talking about butt stuff. Lots of good advice. Check it out.
I love you.
I love you. Bye.